Hello to anyone who may be watching this. My name is Brandon and this is Bible Know How. And today I want to talk about studying. If you are a follower of Jesus Christ and at some point you're going to want to not only read his word, but study his word as well. And of course, we should all be reading God's word, as that's his primary way to communicate with us. And also, Deuteronomy 17:19 indicates that we should be reading God's word. Honestly, I like to look at the Bible as God's love letter to us. That's his love letter to us. However, I do think when you take time to study God's word, when you truly study God's word, I believe that you will begin to grow in a different kind of way. So, today I'm going to read something from Ezra chapter 7, verse 10, and then talk about it. All right. It says, "Now Ezra had determined in his heart to study the law of the Lord, obey it, and teach its statutes and ordinances in Israel." All right. So the same way that Ezra had already made up his mind to study God's word, the same way I believe we should already have it made up in our mind that, if we're going to be followers of Jesus, then we too are going to be students of his word. And, we're going to pay attention to everything that he left us, his love letter. There are multiple ways. There are multiple ways to study. And today, I just want to talk about a few things that might be able to help other people grow in their journey. Things that have definitely helped me through the years. So let's jump right in. But first thing I want people to realize also that when it comes to reading God's word, sometimes you might be better off reading less so you can actually give yourself more time to dissect, certain chapters or certain things out of God's word. So remember that sometimes it's best to read less. All right, the first thing I want everyone to get familiar with, anyone that's trying to study God's word, I want you to get familiar with is cross-referencing. I've done this a lot, and I still do this. With cross-references or cross-referencing, you're going to be taking a lot of things from the Old Testament and the New Testament and cross-referencing. And, you're going to be checking a lot of the prophecies. You're going to be checking promises. And you're even going to be checking things from the Bible against history. Of course, it's very old history, but still history nonetheless. Another thing that will help you when you're studying God's word is a dictionary, or if you'd rather, use your phone and look up certain words in the Bible, because the Bible is going to have a lot of words that you may not know, or words you may have not even heard of. And sometimes it'll have words that we don't even use in our language, or in our English language today. So that's something to keep in mind. A dictionary is going to be your friend. You'll also learn new words along the process, which will expand your own vocabulary. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And the last thing I will mention is a concordance. A good concordance will actually help you find certain scriptures faster because of the references. It will also help you with word studies and help you to locate and trace biblical themes. So that's all I got for today. I just wanted to, I guess, give some tips on studying God's word because, I feel like if you're a follower of Jesus, we all need to be students of God's word. So here's to hoping that everyone will have a great rest of their day, and take care, everyone.